Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
1, 2, check, check, check. 1, 2, aloha, good morning. Check, check, check. Sounds good up here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here at Kapi'olani Community College, Aloha United Way, Ukulele Friend and Kealakai Center for Pacific Strings. 1, 2, 3. Buckle my knee. You guys good? Okay, mahalo.
Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Aloha, everyone. All right. Aloha and welcome, everyone. My name is Sean Yakovon. I'm with the Paul S. Honda International Center here at Kapi'olani Community College. I'm excited to have you all join us here, whether you're in person or virtual, online. This is a new and exciting time for us, both at the college, but also with regards to historical instruments, Hawaiian music, and its impact on the world. We are very fortunate to be able to have with us a representative from Aloha United Way, Mel. This function, as you know, is a fundraiser for Aloha United Way, and there are many people in need here in Hawaii, and Aloha United Way does a phenomenal job at being able to reach out into the community in partnership with the state, certainly with Kapi'olani Community College, and this year, with my colleagues, the Paul S. Honda International Center here at Kapi'olani Community College is spearheading those efforts. One of the things that we are doing is this concert, which we're really excited about, with utilizing the historical ukulele and guitar that you see before us here today. So we're really excited. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at some of these instruments, of course we will be playing them and they will be in rotation, but we have some pretty amazing instruments being represented, including Prince Kuhio's personal guitar is on display here today. We also have several ukulele that are from Hawaiian Kingdom time period that dates back to some of the earliest origins of the ukulele here in Hawaii. From about 1885, there's one from 1886, and there are a few others from that time period as well. And we also have several other key pieces in the broader story that Kylan will be sharing with us today. We're also fortunate, as I mentioned, Kylan we have from the Kealakai Center for Pacific Strings. He's the president of this nonprofit that seeks to advance both education with regards to Hawaiian music and the impact on the world, but also in terms of restoring those instruments and returning those instruments back to Hawaii. So we'll learn a bit more about the Kealakai Center for Pacific Strings. And so once again, welcome, and we're excited to have you here. And we're looking forward to sharing the wonderful music with all the musicians that will be joining us and sharing their mele and their mana'o with us today. And so much mahalo to the musicians and to everyone online, everyone participating today. So at this time, I'd like to call up Mel so he can share a little bit about Aloha United Way, and we can learn a little more about the fantastic things that they're doing there. So mahalo.
Thank you. I want to say aloha, good afternoon. Again, my name is Mel Colquitt. I'm with Aloha United Way. And I'm here I want to thank KCC and the String Agency for putting on this wonderful event. I know it's going to be a real pleasure and enjoyable event for everyone that are here and everyone that's actually listening virtual. Aloha United Way, our role in the community, we work with close to 1,500 companies to advance the health and well-being of our local community. And with that being said, we can't do that without each and every one of you all that's in this room and out viewing virtually. Our reach is from our kapunas to our keikis, and with that being said, we look out for the health and well-being of each and every one of those. So one of our initiatives is, I just want to be real brief. One of our initiatives that we are embarking on is what we call ALICE, and what that really means is it stands for Assets Limited Income Constraint Employed. Now, that doesn't mean a whole lot to you all, but what that's really saying is that there's a vast number of individuals in our community that lives paycheck to paycheck. And if they were to miss a paycheck, that will put them in a very diverse situation where they may not be able to pay their basic living essentials, take care of their living essentials, take care of their responsibilities, can't take care of their housing, may not be able to pay their rent, may not be able to make a car payment. And so we work with over 300 partner agencies to help those individuals, and also with the help of each and every one of you all. Now that can't be done. Alice does not have a face, does not have an ethnicity. That's over 33% of Hawaii's population. That's what we call Alice. That can be your friends, your coworkers, even your family members. That's what we call, that's the ALICE population. And so we work with our partner agencies, and what we do is we have what we're embarking on is what we call an ALICE cohort for a 3-year period. And what we're doing with that is that we're working with certain agencies to address those needs and to help those individuals, whether they come out of their housing situation or even to help them from a financial standpoint, to be more in tune to their financial stability. And so with that being said, again, we can't do this without you. We really want to say that Aloha United Way is appreciative of the support that KCC, support that our over 300 partner agencies and 1,500 community organizations that are helping us to address the needs of our local community. One thing that I do want to, before I step off, I do want to mention is 211. If you're not familiar with 211, what 211 is an information referral hotline. What that does is that if there's any individual that has a need, whether it's a health and human service related need, what they do is they'll dial that particular number. It puts them in contact with one of our specialists, and they will put them in contact with an agency that may be able to help them, whatever that is. 211, whether it's medical, whether it's housing, whether it's insurance related, health related. 211. So if anything that you take from me today, I will encourage you to remember those three numbers, 211. And also, for more information, you can visit our website, alohaunitedway.org, and you'll be able to find out a lot of information about the organization, what we do, and what we're doing to advance the health of our local community. So again, my name is Mel Colquitt. Thank you again, and thank you, KCC, for your support. Thanks.
Aloha mai kako. Those of you here in person and those online following, it's an honor to be here today on behalf of Kealakai Center for Pacific Strings. And this event is just an awesome uniting of the community to support some of our community's most challenging issues, as Mel was just describing. I am a luthier by trade, which is not the same thing as a Lutheran. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about the art and craft of luthery for those of you who may not be stringed instrument players or collectors, aficionados. And we have today an incredibly historic gathering of stringed instruments. Each of these instruments has its own story to tell, but just like the uniting of our community here today, the stories become all the more special when they're gathered together as an ensemble. And you're going to hear some of our favorite musicians today playing ukulele and guitar in duets, possibly and some trios. So sit back and enjoy this very wonderful concert we have prepared. I'd like to share some observations about stringed instruments. The first being, if we take care of these entities of wire and wood, they very likely will outlast us all. It's not uncommon for a well-made stringed instrument to last hundreds of years. And it's with this thought in mind that we approach today to share some of the background of these very special instruments, but also the people who have played them in the past, the people who are playing them today, and the people who hopefully, with our care and conservation, will play them tomorrow. As you look at these gathered instruments, you'll notice that there are many different sizes, and you're welcome to come up close and take a look. You'll see there's different amounts of strings, but all of these instruments today share what's been described as an hourglass figure, a body shape that some have described as being inspired by the contours of the human body. And in fact, the anatomy of stringed instruments corresponds very closely to the anatomy of ourselves. We have the headstock at the top, where the tuning keys are, attached to the neck, which joins the body at the shoulders. Moving down around the sides, we have the waist of the guitar, followed by the hips, and sure enough, at the very bottom, the butt end of the guitar. The top of the guitar also is described as the belly, And this is the part of the instrument that moves in response to the energy of the strings, displacing air, much like breath, through the sound hole, bounced off of the back. This structure that makes stringed instruments so magical evolves in dialogue with the many musicians, where you have luthiers responding to the ideas of musicians, trying different shapes, trying different sizes. This is a process that historically, when we talk about instruments like the violin or the cello, has benefited greatly from royal patronage throughout Europe, throughout Africa, throughout the Asian region. This support of the musical arts and luthery by the most wealthy, the most with the most resources is a big part of how these instruments come to be. And I would like to point out that based on our research at the Kealakai Center, utilizing Hawaiian language primary sources, oral histories, talking with this incredible community of musicians here, we've arrived at a perspective that really places the influence of the Hawaiian kingdom at the forefront in the evolution of our most iconic modern stringed instruments. I'd like to draw our attention to a guitar at the far end of the stage here. This is a guitar that was made about 1911 by a man who is credited with inventing the ukulele in Hawaii, a man named Manuel Nunes. And this guitar, which Sean is demonstrating here, was made for Prince Jonah Kuhio Kalanianaole. And this guitar features some really iconic design. If you look at the top of this guitar, and I invite everyone to come up as you get a chance, we have some marquetry inlay in the top, a nautical star, and at the very bottom, there's a mustache inlay. And for those of you who are familiar with Prince Kuhio, he was famous for his big, broad handlebar mustache. I think that was a tribute by Manuel Nunes to the character of Prince Kuhio. But this is symbolic. Each curve and contour in a stringed instrument is not unlike a signature or a fingerprint of the people behind the instrument's story. Following along this way, we have the Kealakai Jumbo Martin guitar, made in 1915 for Major Kealakai, who was a protege of Queen Liliuokalani in the Reform School here in Honolulu. He was a famous composer, band leader, and this Kealakai Jumbo Martin guitar would in fact become the prototype of the Martin Dreadnought, today the most widely used and famous acoustic guitar design in the world. And following along, we have none other than Gabby Pahinui's Martin D18 Dreadnought guitar, which you're going to hear today in concert as well. The ukulele lined up in front of these guitars are from Sean Yakavon's Ukulele Friend collection, and we really need to tip our hat to Sean. He has acquired, for all of our benefit, a gathering of ukulele that is unique in the world. We are in the presence of some of the most historic instruments made right here in the downtown waterfront district of Honolulu. And these instruments, I believe, in time will be regarded side by side with the finest Stradivari violins, and certainly as many, if not more, people have found a musical life through the ukulele than any other instrument. Now, when we talk about the musical community of the Hawaiian Kingdom, we can say that between 1850 and 1900, the Hawaiian Kingdom led the world in the literary arts. Literacy was matched only by Scotland in the second half of the 19th century. And I'd like to propose that side by side with that literary renaissance was a musical renaissance that would have lasting and profound impacts on the world. The generation of Hawaiian royalty, known as Nalani Eha, the siblings of the Kalakaua dynasty, were incredibly prolific composers, well-trained in theory, composition, harmony, and also deeply, deeply knowledgeable of Hawaiians, of the Hawaiian literary arts and composition. All of those skills united at a time when the Hawaiian Kingdom featured opera, vaudeville, theatrical traditions. African-American minstrel troupes were very popular in the Hawaiian Kingdom. King Kalakaua's favorite band was called Nalani Ehiku, and they were a minstrel troupe that were famous for playing their banjo and fiddle side by side with the Hawaiian ukulele and guitar. And in the final decades of the 19th century, in bands like William Pitliliohoku's Kawaihau Glee Club, a new Hawaiian string ensemble style would start to take shape. All of these traditions found harmony and resonance together, where an unprecedented amount of diversity of stringed instruments and music cultures were put together in one tight, rollicking Hawaiian string band sound. As these string bands began to leave the Hawaiian kingdom and travel across the continental United States, also traveling west to Aotearoa, China, Japan, India, Sri Lanka. There's really nowhere in the world in the first 2 decades of the 20th century that these Hawaiian string bands didn't go. Everywhere they went, the first thing they did is they started to teach. They started setting up Royal Hawaiian Academies of the musical arts. And that is a tradition that I'm really thankful to say is still continuing today. Some of the musicians you're going to hear are also some of the preeminent educators in ukulele music and slack key and steel guitar music. We've talked a little bit about the anatomy of the instruments, about how they come together to create a voice that transcends time itself. And I'd like to invite to the stage right now, Sean's going to tell us a little bit about the ukuleles that we're going to hear in this first duo. And I'd like to invite the musicians to come up and get their instruments tuned as well. As we mentioned, these are historic instruments that are in their original condition. These tuning keys, these tops are well seasoned. Joining us on a Kamaka guitar, we have David Woodward. And on a soprano ukulele, what Sean is going to tell us about, Halehaku Seabury. We can give these guys a round of applause. Welcome.
So we have a couple of historical instruments here. David is playing that's a pre-20s Kamaka guitar. So this is the front end of when Kamaka was established as a company, which was 1916. So this particular guitar was made sometime between 1916 and 1920. It's made entirely of Hawaiian koa. You can see that the body size is a little smaller than our modern day guitars, but don't let that fool you, because the aged koa and the body itself, it has quite a pronounced sound, an aged sound as well, and we'll be able to hear that. A few interesting features about that particular guitar is the neck in particular. If you can turn the guitar to the back, you'll see that this has a really deep V shape. So as Kylian was talking about construction of instruments, this is one of the features that the Kamaka family was dabbling with at that time. They made several types of guitars and necks. We all think of Kamaka as it's the only family name that's synonymous with ukulele, but historically speaking, it was Kamaka Ukulele and Guitar Company early on, and then eventually they faded out the guitars and focused primarily on ukuleles. And so what we have here is an all-koa Hawaiian koa guitar by Samuel Kamaka, made in the pre-20s. Hale is holding a very ornate instrument, ukulele, that is on the front end. This is a Hawaiian Kingdom period instrument, and it's made by Jose do Espirito Santo. There are 3 individuals that were attributed with the creation of the ukulele. One is Jose do Espirito Santo, another is Augusto Dias, and the third is Manuel Nunes. All 3 of them came in 1879 on the Ravens Crag to Honolulu Harbor to work in the plantation fields. Shortly after their contracts had ended, they all came to the Chinatown downtown area and opened shops there. And so what we have here is a very early piece. What's unique about this, aside from the fact that it has quite a bit of inlay, is the fact that when we think of vintage ukuleles, we often think of the one that maybe grandma, grandpa has at home, which tends to be all koa wood, and it tends not to have a fingerboard. But if you look at this particular piece, it not only has a fingerboard, but the fingerboard extends to the sound hole, meaning that it was modeled after the parent instruments to the ukulele, of which there are 2. There are 2 Madeiran instruments that are considered the parent instruments to the ukulele. Madarin rajao, which is a 5-string instrument, roughly the size of a tenor ukulele. And that's where the ukulele gets its GCEA tuning. The reentrant GCEA tuning comes from that instrument. And the Madarin machete, which is a similar size to the soprano ukulele, but it was tuned to DGBD. And they essentially took the size of the Madarin machete and the tuning, minus the D string, the GCEA tuning, and they basically created ukulele using local woods. This one's very early because it has a softwood top, it has an extended fingerboard, and bridge pins. So these are all attributes to the first generation ukulele that were made at that time, even though there were not skilled players. And so what we will see over time within the next 10 years is the removal of the fingerboard. And certainly the frets will stop at the 12th fret and no bridge pins. Some of these were attributed likely to business decisions. So they were more efficient, less cost. Things of that nature would also impact how the ukulele was created. So that being said, these are two wonderful historical pieces being played by some of Hawaii's great musicians here, so we'll turn it over and allow them to play. If you could introduce the songs, guys.
So we wanted to point out that Hawaii's best musicians couldn't be here, so we're here. Not speaking for the others, of course, just us. Here we go.
We're going to start this off with a beautiful song written by Princess Like Like. And to kind of sum it up, it's a love song, right? About a love that was too late. Ku'ipo I ka he'e pueone. So do a quick tune. But this next song,
It's called a song called "Fun with Friction Pigs."
but yeah. So this next mele that I'm gonna share with you folks, we're gonna share with you folks, it's a namesake song for, the beloved Queen, Kapi'olani. Very popular song entitled Makalapua. A song that was written by her adoptive parent that took care of her, malama her. And so, yeah. Be ready.
Okay. The best part of this is I have no idea what he's gonna sing.
That's true.
And what key it's gonna be in. But like everyone else, I'll see you at the end.
No kidding. I never tell you the key last time.
It's
Kala
okay.
mai.
C sharp is a good key to not tell me.
Right?
Yeah.
Kala mai. Obscure, the better. Okay.
E flat.
E flat, yeah. O makalapua uluma, hie, o kaleo, Kamaka Nali avahine kihene Okay.
I'll see you at the end. D.
I'm gonna play a nice, little bit more upbeat one, written by actually, I think Kailin mentioned, Prince William, Leleo Hoku, a song entitled Moni Keala. From what I hear, it's about a rendezvous and all its descriptive words in the verses.
How about these guys? We are so lucky to have such talented, wonderful singers and players to bring these instruments to life. And we're going to keep these two on stage and change out the instruments and talk a little bit about the influence that Hawaii has had on the Martin Guitar Company's guitar designs and ukulele designs. In 1906, a small music store down on Fort Street called the Bergstrom Music Company, who was the official Martin dealership here at that time, they said, you know, the Martin Company should get hip to these small ukuleles that everybody here wants, and we can't get enough of them. So they sent some prototypes built by these Hawaiian Portuguese instrument makers to the Martin Guitar Company, and the Martin Company took a stab at making some ukulele, and they sent back, I think, 4 or 5 of their attempts, and they didn't sound good. Nobody liked them. They were built like little guitars. They were too heavy. They didn't have that resonance and that voice. So the Martin Company kind of put it on the side burner for about 7 years, until in 1915, the continental United States went absolutely crazy for Hawaiian music and musicians. At that time, there was a World's Fair that happened in San Francisco called the Panama Pacific International Exposition. And the entire waterfront of San Francisco was rebuilt into this incredible, ornate city. And over 200 Hawaiian musicians performed at that festival. Over 19 million people heard Hawaiian ukulele and steel guitar music for the first time. And that set off an absolute renaissance in the musical arts on the continent, and the instruments made by the leading instrument manufacturers really followed suit. Now, through our research, we've traced the origins of the world's first steel string acoustic guitars made by the Martin Company to these instruments that were born here in Honolulu. That's a really significant impact to have had on the world of lutherie. The Martin Guitar Company, throughout the Depression, actually sold more ukuleles than they did guitars, and it was really this Hawaiian influence that saved the company. The Kealakai Center has been honored to work with the Martin Guitar Company, doing research, having access to over 3 centuries of the Martin Guitar Company's archives, which we are happy to announce we will be making available in 2023 through the Pacific String Museum and Pumanamana Digital Archives. More information is on our website at kcpstrings.com. But we're going to turn back to these fantastic musicians, and they've got in their hands some instruments made by the Martin Company. And at that early period in the 20s and 30s, the Martin Company was trying to get as much curly Hawaiian koa as they could get their hands on. This early batch of koa was most likely coming from the Kona side of the Big Island, and that variety of koa has a very distinct red hue to it, as opposed to koa from Kauai, which is oftentimes more of a butterscotch color with kind of dark striations running through it. But this Big Island koa changed the world with its wonderful voice, and in the hands of these two musicians, we're going to see how this Hawaiian influence went on to influence the 20th century popular music of the continental United States. And as we get into the next set of performers, we'll really follow that story and see how in the jazz and the swing era, this Hawaiian string band revolution continued to change the way people think and play music. So guys, mahalo nui, 2 Martin instruments. These 2 instruments could be cut from the same tree. We actually don't know. Sean, do we know? Sure. Sean's going to tell a little bit about these actual Martin guitar and ukulele.
So these 2 instruments, the one that Hale is holding here, this Martin ukulele, is made from about 1920. And this is a style 3, and the K, it's a 3K, so K is for koa. It has an ebony fingerboard, koa top, back, and sides. And this is really a musician's instrument because it has an extended fingerboard. So this is quite popular amongst musicians, but they also have a mahogany version of this, which was also equally as popular, primarily because musicians could play high in the higher positions up on the neck. What David is holding there is a Martin guitar. It's an O18K, so the O stands for the body size, a small body shape. 18 is their model, and K also stands for koa. What's unique about that particular piece is that instrument's from 1932. It's from the golden era of Martin guitars. They consider the Martin guitars, that what they call pre-World War II guitars, to be some of the most highly sought after, desired instruments because of the tone, the construction of the instruments during that time, but really the tone of the instruments. So as you listen to these 2 wonderful musicians play these historical instruments, listen to the subtle nuances that each of these instruments offer. There's something really special about aged wood, specifically Hawaiian koa, that you cannot replicate. And so we'll be able to indulge ourselves a little with the wonderful music by Hale and David. Mahalo.
So we're going to do this song that's not necessarily on the program. We're just deciding to call audibles. But there's a reason and there's a story. So the song we're going to do is called Pu'amai Ole. It was composed by John Squeeze Kamana for his daughter. And my story for this song is that I was playing a gig with Doug and Pakala. At 3660 on the Rise. Cool. And it was somebody's like a retirement party or something like that. And Doug Tolentino, who is also a fantastic everything player, plays like Peter Rowan and all of these guys, through Kylan and all of these great things. He tells me, he goes, "Hey, why don't you sing Pu'amai Ole?" And I'm looking at him like, why would I sing Pu'amai Ole when you're standing right here? You're the guy who sings that song. And so I I defer, right? I'm the guy they hired to, and I just do my job. And so I start singing this song, and this older Hawaiian lady stands up and she starts dancing the song. And so we get through the song, and like I don't know, I'm not sure who this lady is, but that's very cool because it's not a song that you see people dance often. And so we finish the song, we get out, we end the song, and the lady comes up to me and she says, "Thank you for singing my song. My dad wrote me that song." And I was thinking the entire time, I was like, Doug set me up this whole time, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
But so a reason to sing this song on instruments from that period. A song entitled Pu'u Mai Ole by John Kamana. I think we had like a Mailele and Pikake or something on the program. Let's do those. F.
Trade winds with your fragrance, my lily. You lure the sunbeams to shine down in hula just for you. And then you flirt with all the flowers of every color in you. me to, as much as I love you. I promise to be true, ever so true, dear Peacock. I can't let you go. My poor heart just wants you to know that it's so plain to see that you will always be throughout eternity. Peacock in my heart throughout eternity. Peacock in my heart.
Mahalo nui. Lama. Okay, mahalo. We all made it to the end.
Another big round of applause for David and Halehaku. Well, I'm sure many of you here today are fans of Hawaiian slack key guitar. And we have a fine, fine slack key guitarist up next, and he's going to be joined by a bass player. And this is a really wonderful duo style of slack key and bass that can sound like a full orchestra between two people. We have a very historic guitar that we're going to share with these guys. As we mentioned, the Kealakai guitar made for Mekia Kealakai in 1916 by the Martin Guitar Company was such a big, extra-large jumbo guitar. It was actually ahead of the curve for the popular tastes of the day. But a company called the Ditson Company, which is a wholesaler based out of New York and Boston, came through the guitar company and saw this extra-large jumbo Kealakai guitar, and they said, that is a guitar we want to add to our lineup. And it was at that point that the Kealakai Martin guitar became known as the Dreadnought Martin, or the Dreadnought Ditson model initially. And in the words of Chris Martin IV, the current Martin at the helm of the Martin Company, he said, this extra-large jumbo Hawaiian guitar made sure that the person sitting at the back of the concert hall got their money's worth. And we have to remember, in 1916, there were no microphones, there were no PA systems, there was no electric amplification. We were still in the acoustic age. And so by the strength and power of a musician's own hands and voice, they would project with these stringed instruments to be heard oftentimes by thousands of people, if you can imagine. Now, the Hawaiian slack key guitar tradition, or kiho'alu, the origins of this tradition are that of legend, and it's been said that some of the early Mexican vaqueros who came to the Big Island to wrangle cattle and taught the paniolos how to be cowboys, brought with them their Mexican traditions of guitar playing, and that there was a big influence there. But one thing that we've become that has become clear to us in our research is that concurrent with that rural tradition of guitar in Hawaii, there was a very highly evolved palace community or royal tradition of guitar playing. Queen Liliuokalani was a fantastic guitarist, as were many of her siblings and other members of the royal palace community. In the archives of the Hawaii state, we have found the actual songbook arrangement of the queens. And in that book are two numbers written by a man named Henry Worrell in the mid-19th century, the Spanish Fandango and a song called Sebastopol. And both of these songs feature an open G tuning on the guitar. Another instrument that was very popular in the kingdom at that time, the banjo, also featured an open G tuning. And all of these instruments were being played and shared together. So we like to think that the Hawaiian slack key guitar tradition is truly vast in its origins, but it is definitely Hawaiian. And we have two fantastic musicians to share some of it with you now. Please make welcome David Kaio and Henry Harrison.
Testing 1, 2. Oh, there it is. Okay. Aloha, everyone. Welcome. Aloha. I'm so thankful for being here, the opportunity to share with you folks some of the music. Thanks to Keelan and Sean invited me. When they first asked me if I could play, I said, sure. As long as it's on a Tuesday or Thursday, because I had some things I have to do. And he said, okay. Not knowing what the theme was about till yesterday, I think. I looked at it. I read about what the theme was about. I was like, see, I went to a private school, so you read after you do something. So, but yeah, after I seen this whole occasion was a fundraiser, it was very interesting because when they asked me the songs, I gave them 3 songs. And so the first one I'm going to do was written by, what is this? Queen Kapi'olani. And so interesting because the fundraiser today is to help all our people in the islands, Oahui, and with Aloha United Way. And at the same time, in this song, Queen Kapi'olani was doing the same thing. She opened up the Queen Kapi'olani Hospital for women and children. And the other was to help out all the lepers at that time. But this song she wrote was written for her husband, King David Kalakaua. And sadly that he wasn't able to hear the song. He died in San Francisco. Mana o he aloha ea no kai pole manu mana o he aloha ea no kai pole manu he manuku hoa ea noho mai ana hele he mana oku hoa ea noho mai ana hele Iwi o uka ea olen la I ka ua I Anua uma Wa Anua uma Haina Kapi'olani Ukulele hello Haina Kapi'olani Ukulele hello Mahalo, mahalo. You introduce Mr. Harrison Murray, not whatever they called you earlier. Harry Harrison, yeah. Mr. Harrison.
It's all
Murray.
the same. My dad's name is Harry. My grandfather's name is Harry. My mom's dad's name is Harry. I'm just Harry's son, so you know.
Big Harry.
Yeah, thank you.
This next song was written as original as a chant for it was called Kamehameha Fall, Luna Lilo, Iolani. But he also was married to Queen Emma, and she also was a giving person. She started the Queen Emma Foundation, became Queen Emma's hospital, and that too, that she had fundraised to help the Hawaiian people with the medical issues that they had over life. So just like Aloha United Way, it's continue to help. If you guys can give, please give. If not, just continue supporting the Hawaiian music. So this was beautiful. Kamehameha the Third. No, sorry, Kamehameha the Fourth. Song entitled Uanani o Nu'uana. This was originally written as a chant. And I was listening to Holiday playing earlier, the different style of music and what we playing, different style of music. And it's so funny that I was listening to what Kimo Hasi was playing earlier with Zanuck, then was listening to the music. It's how funny that no matter what style of music that you can hear in the Hawaiian music, it's always a love song. No matter what it is either a love song or someone hurt them, or, which is rarely, you just get rid of them. But yeah, so it's really nice hearing all the different styles. And I just wish that we all could play together on the stage, but no more not for everybody. With all these beautiful sounding instruments. If you guys get time, please take pictures of these guitars. I mean, I'm so glad I came today to see some of the things that I didn't see, but like this guitar, it's beautiful. I wish I could take it home. Uanani Thank you very much. This next song will take you folks to the big island of Hawaii. And this next song is called Mauna Kea. And this song was really interesting because it was brought back in I think it was in the 70s. And it was done by Eddie Kamai and the Sons of Hawaii. Sorry. Okay. Well, this song was written when we first found out about this melody. It was written. Wasn't written, but it was collectively put together. Was doing research with Eddie Kamai and Tutu Kavena Pukui. And so for years, I understand that it was a song that these guys found, and later on through research by Mr. Kihei De Silva, who does a lot of deep research in songs, found out that the song went back and back and back, and it was about Queen Emma's, one of her final journey to the island of Hawaii, Moku o Keawe. So we're going to leave you with this song entitled Mauna Kea. He aha ie ana o Mauna Kea, kua hiwi alopu me ke hau. He aha ie ana o Mauna Kea, kua hiwi alopu me ke hau. Alaga o e ia Mauna loa, e moa ua ke a kāri e. Hua au mahalo i ka mani, ka hale a ka vai, hui a ka mani. Ahui ho ia la I ke lihi, kaua he noela o ki lau ea. Ke hea mai nei, hale ma'u, e nai nai ki ai a kawahine. Wahine pua ipu, pua o la'a, ho o puni po o ka manai. Aloha I no a ho ho e a wahine ang leva leva I ke kai. Hona una I ka hone a ke kai, he ala o ka hina no ka ua roha. Hana ia mai, ana ka puana, no na ke ala, e ala a mai. Hana ia mai, ana ka puana, no na ke ala, e ala a mai. Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, Kualalai, hale mahu mahu, pokoe, una. thank you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. That was absolutely fantastic. And Harrison Murray, everybody, and David Kaio. Well, we've taken quite a journey through time and through the sound of strings and mele. And this next section is really interesting to me because so many times the story about this next era in Hawaiian music, the jazz age, and the beginnings of what gets referred to as the hapahauli section of Hawaiian music, it gets described as something that came to Hawaii rather than something that evolved here. And our research has really illuminated for us the deep, deep history of Hawaiian string traditions, stretching back before there was even such a thing as jazz. In the early 19th century, when all of these musical traditions and instruments started to intertwine here in the Kingdom of Hawaii, and something new really began to take shape. I have really come to see this era of the 20s and 30s into the 40s, this golden period of Hawaiian music as a local tradition, a sound and tradition that evolved here in Hawaii. I also spoke earlier a little bit about the early concept of the Hawaiian musical arts and education as synonymous, and this emphasis on making music available to people, no matter where you're from, no matter how much you have or don't have, no matter how many strings on your instrument. If you want to play and you have the desire in your heart, you too can have a musical life through the magic of the ukulele and the Hawaiian guitar. And few people that I know are carrying that message around the world like these two fellows. They're both renowned educators, players, thinkers about music. It's an honor to have them with us today. Please make welcome Kimo Hussey and Zanuck Lindsay.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here today, and I want to tell you that I'm very, very involved in working on projects that have to do with combining music therapy and ukulele. As we all know, music has so many wonderful, wonderful rewards. Recently, I Googled the 10 most popular instruments in the United States. And you know what? Ukulele wasn't there. But then I Googled the easiest instruments to learn to play, and there was ukulele. And so you see the value of ukulele relevant to music therapy is that it's a very, very simple way for us and people that we know to accrue the benefits of ukulele. I'm very, very interested in starting an academic program in Hawaii with music therapy, because there are 70 universities on the mainland, approximately 70, that have undergraduate and graduate programs in music therapy. Why not Hawaii? We have such wonderful music, an instrument that's easy to play, and we enjoy the music. Are you going to say anything, or are we just starting?
Hi. My name is Zanuck Lindsay, and we're doing this chronologically. I don't know if you're following the program, but we are supposed to, Kimo and I are going to be covering maybe the 40s and 50s where hapahauli music was prevalent. And so we're going to do a few of those songs for you today. This first one was written by Mr. R. Alex Anderson, very prolific composer, wrote many beautiful songs. And we're going to do a song that's normally done at a faster tempo, but we're going to slow it down because, you know, Kimo and I are not built for speed. We're built for comfort. So we're going to bring it down. So I don't know if you feel that it's
plus one of us is kind of a vintage person.
So let's see how this goes. All right. Hands on your hips, do those hula dips. Sophisticated hula is the talk of the town. You gotta swing your partner around. Soon you'll cover ground. Sophisticated hula is the talk of the town. Oh, the lovely hula maiden, they love to dance. They love to dance to the beating of drums. And now sophisticated hula's your chance to do the dance while the melody runs. So dance to the music sweet. Soon you will repeat. Sophisticated hula is the talk of the town. Party, brother. Keep it going, brother. Keep it going. The lovely hula maiden, they love to dance. They love to dance to the beating of drums. And our sophisticated hula's your chance to do the dance while the melody runs. So dance to the music sweet. Soon you will repeat. Oh, a sophisticated hula is the talk of the town. Oh, yeah. Sophisticated hula is the talk of the town. Mahalo nui, thank you so much. All right. Well, this is a short set, Kimo. You and I never do gigs like this. 2 songs, we're out. Perfect. I love this stuff. We want to thank all the people responsible for putting this together. Isn't this a wonderful program today? And that's our good friends Kylan and Sean. And how about these fabulous musicians? We were enthralled by just sitting out there listening to everybody play. We hardly get to see each other. We're in everywhere else in the world, but with each other. So it's nice to be around and hear some music like this. So here's another one that we want to play, and once again, thank you all for coming. This song was written by R. Alex Anderson. We seem to like him, and music was by a man named Milton Beamer. This song, I've sung this song many times, but last night I was stumbling through YouTube, and I saw a piece of sheet music that had the verse to this song. Now, that's one of those things that we don't hear very often. It's the little preamble before the actual song. And if you can find these things, people who wrote songs in the 40s and 50s had these little verses that set up the entire song. So I picked it up and I said, Kimo, I'm going to try this tomorrow. I'm just going to wing it, man, and see what happens. And so listen to how this verse sets up the rest of the song, okay? Little things can make a picture to remember. I recall the hat you wore that day in late September. Little things, just like the flowers you are wearing, always linger in my mind. You were wearing a blue lace the day that I first met you, as we wandered on the sand by a blue, blue sea, with not a cloud in the sky to suppress us, not a care have you or I to distress us. I shall always remember the day that I first kissed you, and the smile upon your lips so heavenly sweet, when your blue eyes looked into mine. It was then the sun began to shine, that day in May. You wore a blue, blue lei. Mr. Kimo Hussey on the ukulele. I shall always remember the day that I first kissed you, and a smile upon your lips so heavenly sweet, when your blue eyes looked into mine. It was then the sun began to shine, that day in May. You wore a blue, blue lei, that day in May. You wore a blue, blue lei. Mahalo nui, everybody. Thank you.
Well, we've come quite a ways through the last century, as this concert is titled. This next duo is absolutely one of my favorites. They live in Kailua, like me, on the windward side of Oahu. And they really embrace this notion that Hawaiian music is whatever music they want it to be. And as we look into the deep, deep origins of modern stringed instruments, classic stringed instruments, and the very way we think about music in the modern age, it's clear now to us that Hawaiian vision of the musical arts has been a driving force for centuries. I'm really excited to hear these guys play this guitar that was owned and played by Gabby Pahinui. This is a Martin D18, about 1947. And through our work,
to fight me to get it back.
through our work with the Martin Company, we've spent some time at their museum in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and they have a special case there for a guitar also a D18 from 1947 that was owned and played by Hank Williams, the great father of country music. And this guitar is only a few serial numbers apart from that. So you can compare the tone of this to Hank Williams' guitar. But please make welcome Kailua Moon and their fantastic selections today. They're actually going to change one song on the set list, and I'll let you describe why you made that choice. But please make welcome Kailua Moon.
Aloha, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, it's running a little hot. This is a really cool event, first of all. We play music a lot, but I want to thank Sean and Kylan for putting this all together. So my history in slacky comes from a man named Ozzy Kotani. He taught me most of what I know about slacky guitar, and his teacher was famous for playing with Gabby a lot. His name was Sonny Chillingworth. So this guitar probably met Uncle Sonny, and I'm gonna start off with his version of a song called Hula Blues, written by Johnny Noble. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. This next one is not on the program. I made a little adjustment this morning, and then things just kept getting better from there. But this next song is one that we recently recorded as a passion project. So during the past couple of years when we couldn't perform, we decided to delve deep and do a lot of research into the artists we love, who influenced them, and then who influenced their influences. And both of us love country music in addition to Hawaiian. And we arrived at the Carter family. Johnny Cash, huge inspiration of mine. Basically his in-laws. But when we found this song, it's called "You're My Flower." It's an old American folk song that was found and published by A.P. Carter. And I spent a lot of time studying Hawaiian music and taking classes on it. And what struck me about this song was how similar it is to Hawaiian music in its focus on nature, to the degree where it could have easily been written by a Hawaiian. Relationships with people being intertwined with the natural world, cross-metaphoring back and forth. That's about as Hawaiian as you can get. This song does that. And then when Kylan mentioned that this guitar's serial number may belong to Hank Williams, I thought, perfect. We intended for this song to be a bridge between American folk music and country and Hawaiian. And I think this is a beautiful way to do it. So this is called You Are My Flower.
The grass is just as green, the sky is just as blue, the day is just as bright, the birds are singing too. You are my flower that's blooming in the mountains for me. You are my flower that's blooming there for me. The air is just as pure, sunlight just as free, and nature seems to say it's all for you and me. E ku'upua mohala i ke kuahiwi. E ku'upua i laila ho'ino. So we're happy, smile, and life will be worthwhile. Forget your tears and don't forget to smile. E ku'upua mohala i ke kuahiwi. E ku'upua i laila ho'ino. When summertime has passed and snow begins to fall, just sing this song and say it one and all. E ku'upua mohala i ke kuahiwi. E ku'upua i laila ho'ino. You are my flower that's blooming in the mountains for me. You are my flower that's blooming there for me. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to hand off this beautiful guitar for another beautiful guitar. Thank you.
So I'm originally from California, and my mom had a halau out there, so I got to listen to so many different styles of music, but I really gravitated to kind of 1930s, 1940s I love Charlie Chaplin, and there's this one particular song that I just adored when I was a kid. It's called Smile, and he wrote it as an instrumental in 1936, and then John Turner and Jeffrey Parson put lyrics to it in 1954. So we wanted to share this song today with all of you, and we say thank you again for having us, and we wish everyone a great day. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's a time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? Find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's a time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Mahalo again. Aloha.
Hold on, you guys, hold on. I just want to say both for Danny and Nani here, they're kind of sort of newlyweds, about a year plus. And it was Danny's birthday just the other day too, so we just want to wish him a happy birthday. But their music just really touches a soul, and you can see that they are the next generation of musicians and music in Hawaii. And it's an honor to be able to have all the musicians come up and share the mana'o, share their mele with us, but certainly Kailua Moon music as well. And so mahalo for coming out.
Thank you.
Wow, that was really, really beautiful. Such a fantastic style that one guitar can really play the rhythm, the melody, the accompaniment all at the same time. We're coming towards the end of our show, and I just want to draw attention to, we'd like to ask our representative from Aloha United Way to come back up and say just a couple more words. This is, I believe, really in the spirit of the vision of Hawaiian music that was laid out by these royals of the monarchy period, that music is not just entertainment. It's a vital force that can transform lives, that can lift the spirit, the intellect vocational possibilities and horizons. And this is a unification with Aloha United Way, Ukulele Friend, and Kealakai Center for Pacific Strings that we just are so honored to be part of. So please make welcome Mel again, and he's going to say a few words about Aloha United Way.
Yeah, I want to thank you again. Again, I'm Mel with Aloha United Way. So one of the things I want to, just by a show of hands, how many are not familiar with Aloha United Way? That's great. It's like everyone is familiar with our organization, what we do. One of the things what we do is we advance the health and education and financial stability of our community through our partners with many organizations. That's what we do, and that means that you are being represented by being the hands, the feet of Aloha United Way. We can't say enough to thank you. But just let me take one brief moment just to share how you guys support the community through Aloha United Way. It's because of you, more than $25,000 was raised and awarded to our affinity groups. And what our affinity groups are young society of young leaders and our women who are helping advance the cause of the community in Aloha United Way. More than 87,000 requests to our 211, and I mentioned 211 earlier. 211 is an information referral hotline that individuals that may have a need, they dial that particular number and it puts them in contact with a representative that can actually put them in contact with an agency that may be able to provide the support. And 211, and again, as I mentioned earlier, if there's one thing that you take away from what I say, take away is that's 211. If you have a family member, a friend, or a coworker who needs support, just give them that number. It's similar to 911 for emergency, and if I'm going to date myself, the old 411 we used to dial for informational services. So I don't know if anybody in the room is familiar when they dial 411. So 211 is that information referral hotline. Also, there is $917,000 awarded to our safety net, and our safety net is a conglomerate of agencies that we partner with to go out and do the wonderful work to help our community. And again, because of you and all the individuals that are out there, our 1,500 company supporters and many individuals within the community, because of you, that's the work that we do. And again, I want to just say mahalo to you and mahalo to our organizers for this wonderful event. The only regret that I have is I have a young daughter who actually played the acoustic guitar in high school here at IAEA High School. I wish I could have brought her with me so she could have, experienced this wonderful event that we're having today. So again, mahalo on behalf of Aloha United Way.
I think this next band really also signifies something about Hawaii that is special. You can pick any organization, any business, anywhere in this state of Hawaii, and there are musicians at work there. And this band is made up of employees here at KCC. They call themselves Us Guys. And they're going to remind us that music is not only about history and incredible stringed instruments, but it's also about having just a plain old great time. And please make them feel really welcome. They're going to entertain us with 3 or 4 songs. Us Guys. Mahalo.
All right. Mahalo. Mahalo. We have to say right off the bat, usually the opening band goes first. But for some reason, we're ending up here. I think what we've all experienced is probably prior to us is the top 5% of Hawaiian musicians in the state. And we represent everybody else.
Especially the bottom 5%.
We're the backyard jammers.
So one thing I wanted to say about the instruments that we're playing today. Joe is holding that 1932 Martin guitar, Alcoa guitar, and Mark is playing the pre-20s Kamaka guitar, and Palakiko has one that we haven't played yet. And this small little instrument is surprisingly loud. I wouldn't be surprised if it kept up with those guitars. It's a small little body, super lightweight. It's made by Manuel Nunes. And this particular instrument is not as old as some of the earlier ones, not a Hawaiian Kingdom period. This was about 1895. So it's, you know, the ukulele is a beautiful instrument, but at the same time is a very fascinating history as well. You know, the instrument was created at a time with tremendous turmoil in Hawaii. And so something so beautiful that could have come out at a time when so much chaos was going on is really a gift to us all, to be able to hear the music, but also to have such a wonderful instrument that we all hold so dearly to our hearts, such a sound that's so familiar to each and every one of us. You know, I heard someone tell me once, many years back, that the voice or the tuning of the ukulele actually is very similar to the human voice. And arguably, maybe that's one of the reasons why it kind of calls to you when you listen to our four-string friend here, the ukulele. So we'll turn it over to us guys. I'm really excited to have them join us as well, because they represent all of us faculty and staff here at Kapi'olani Community College. Wonderful, wonderful team that we have here on the campus, my colleagues that we're all working alongside to make things happen for our students, for our community, certainly our International Students Office for the world as well. And so it really is an honor to be able to have these three gentlemen play these historical instruments for us all today. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Mahalo, Sean. Thank you so much. So, my name is Palakiguan. I want teacher. I'm not one musician, guys. I want teacher. But we wanted to share with you. And since everyone's been sharing all of these beautiful love songs, we wanted to share with you our most favoriteest love song. It's probably the oldest love song you heard all day from all these wonderful musicians. And this is our love song for you. Mahalo for having us. Give me two, Joe. There we go.
What song? Oh, he said love song. I was like, what? This is a love song.
Yeah, but this is our love song for everybody.
Okay.
Give me two, there we go.
What key are we in? C.
Manuel boy, my dear boy, you no more hila hila, no more 5 cents, no more house. Go a paka dia moe. Manuel boy, my dear boy, you no more hila hila, no more 5 cents, no more house. You go a paka dia moe.
Okay, my turn.
Papa works at Stephen door. Mama's making late.
Oh yeah.
Sister go with the howley boy. She come home any old time.
What time?
Anytime.
Manuela boy, my dear boy, you no more hila hila, no more 5 cents, no more house. You go a paka ia moe. Man works in the taro patch. Grandma makes the boy chili pepper water and beef stew rice. Pipi kaula on the side, no ka Manuela boy, my dear boy, you no more hila hila, no more 5 cents, no more house. You go a paka dia moe.
I gotta put on my sunglasses for the next one.
Junior boy goes down to the beach to spot those wahinis in bikinis.
Oh.
Wears dark glasses and a coconut hat. You're never gonna know where his eyeballs is at. Manuela boy, my dear boy, you no more No more 5 cents, no more house. You go alabaka ia moe.
Okay, let's get love story-ish. I want to marry this wahine I know. Her name is Haunane Ho. Ho. I asked my papa, but he said no, 'cause Haunani is your sister, but your mama don't know. Oh no. Oh no, let me tell him what she said. Let me tell him what she said. Told my mama what my papa had said. She said, son, you know Pilikia. You can't marry Haunani Ho, 'cause your papa's not your papa, but your papa don't know. Oh oh, oh no, let's go.
Manuela boy, my dear boy, you no more hila hila. No more 5 cents, no more house. You go alabaka hia moe. You go alabaka hia moe. You go alabaka hia moe.
Oh, that was a love song. Huh?
That was the love song, bro. That was the ancient love song right there.
The last verse.
I got scared for a moment. I was like, what? We did?
Mahalo, Sean, for having us, you know. Like, the only reason we here, Sean said, you like play one old ukulele.
Yeah.
That was like the shoot, cause I like play, and that's why we here. So mahalo for having us, and aloha to Aloha United Way for having this benefit concert for all of these people in Hawaii that need our help. Mahalo to all of you, and as well as all of those in TV land, Aloha TV land peoples. But thank you for being here and your donations, and really going to a great cause. So again, mahalo again, everyone, for being here. The next song that we want to do is. So the next song, we want to take you to our favorite island. What is great about this Ohia dining room, this cafeteria that you see, if you look out the back window, we have like $1 million view. And if you look off to our right, you're going to see this beautiful island of Molokai. We just wanted all your eyeballs off of us. We just wanted you guys to look away. But if you see this beautiful island, you know, sometimes when we're here on Oahu, we get so caught up in the constant busyness of everything we gotta do every day. And what I love to do to get away from the busyness, I just run away. But I go to that island, Molokai, and it helps me find myself. It helps me ground myself. Almost like the ukulele. This is like a gift, and it's a connection to my soul. And when I play the ukulele, it's all about aloha. So aloha, and mahalo for letting us share a little bit of what we learned. Bruh, you guys ready? How's that opening? Was that a good opening?
Awesome.
I did all right. I did all right.
Yeah,
I can take Killin's job. I can take Killin's job.
Yeah, you did great.
Can I call Killin Killer? Can we make him like one local guy? Like, oh, Killer. That's mean.
Yeah.
All you, let's go.
scared before coming up here. We saw all of the professionals who sounded so good. It reminded of us.
We're still scared.
We're still scared. It reminded us of when we go to a buffet and you have your prime rib and your lobster, and you accidentally put that sour jello on your plate, and you have a little bite of that. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're supposed to be smart, people who are here at the university, but to follow professionals like that, I don't know, it kind of questions our intelligence, I think. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sean set us up.
Set us up.
Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
No,
Thank you for the opportunity, Sean.
Yeah, Mom.
Yeah, mahalo.
I just wanted to say, like Uncle Kimo said, music is therapy. And, teaching, we got teachers and we got faculty members here, and so it's very stressful, yeah. So this is our therapy. This is our therapy right now. We're going to do now. Okay.
See.
Yeah. You want to start it off? You remember how?
No.
Okay.
Upuae e manao ayahiu o koke I hanani o ka aena o ka noe o ai ai o ka lala he aena la I ka ua li o ai mea Ukulele Aloha nevermore to say goodbye. E ho'i mai ana ka hikina I ka vela vela I ke kai avana vana I koimu maoloa ka lala he aina la I ka ua li o ai mea Ukulele Aloha nevermore to say goodbye. Meleao no ka beauty I ka ua iu I koke ua I ke ao I ka noe o ai ai a ka lalau he aina la I ka ua li o ai mea Ukulele Aloha nevermore to say goodbye. Nevermore to say goodbye. Nevermore say goodbye.
No, that's after work.
Oh yeah.
Hano.
Yeah.
One more time. Hano.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not gonna get to play this ukulele ever again, so we're gonna jam it. Okay. Mahalo again, everyone. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Killen. Mahalo. Aloha United Way.
Another big hand for us guys. How about it? I think they deserved all those other opening acts really, really well. Well, we'd like to thank you all for joining us today. It's been a really, really amazing concert for us, for Sean and I to hear all of these instruments played so wonderfully in real time. Also, acoustically, amplified with real microphones. You know, this is a rare treat today. You hear so many people, they just take their pickup, they plug in the guitar, they plug into the sound system, and you really lose that quality of an acoustic instrument where you hear the breath, you hear the vibration, the sound of that instrument. And we've got to really applaud our sound team today, who have done an amazing job. This is not an easy concert to pull off. And so I want to recognize also, again, Sean Yakavon's collection of historic ukulele. He has done an amazing feat. He's traveled all over the world for many, many years, keeping his ear to the coconut wireless about when these instruments are going to become available, and really going out of his way, not only to gather them together, but to make sure that they're playable. And this is something that a lot of people who are involved in promoting and selling ukuleles, they don't take the time to do that. And Sean really deserves a round of applause for taking that care and to ensure, you know, the way that these stringed instruments last for hundreds of years is by letting people hear them. And you can go to Cremona, Italy today, and a little town where Stradivari lived, and you can, every day they pull out $1 million violins and they let people hear them. And when people stop hearing these instruments, they end up in closets, they end up behind glass, and the tradition that they represent starts to fade and starts to die. So It's really important, the work that Sean is doing with this collection. And on behalf of Kealakai Center for Pacific Strings, we are honored to announce 2023, the Pacific String Museum, the world's first online museum for Pacific and Hawaiian stringed instrument history, will go live. And so all of these instruments will be represented there in digital galleries where you can not only see them, but you can hear them. So we're very excited. Going along with that Pacific String Museum will be the Pumanamana Digital Archives. The president of Kealakai Center, Noah Ha'alilio Solomon, is gathered together an incredible gang of Hawaiian language scholars, practitioners, and translators to make over 250 Hawaiian mele available as primary source material. They're going to be cross-linked with hundreds of newspaper articles, the archives of the Martin Guitar Company, the archives of the Library of Congress, the Hawaii State Archives, the Bishop Museum, all put into one centralized, searchable database to celebrate this incredible legacy of Hawaiian music. So keep tuned, kcpstrings.com, ukulelefriend.com. And we'd like to thank you again for an amazing concert, Kapi'olani Community College, Aloha United Way. We will see you again soon. Sean, any closing comments?
I just wanted to say a special thanks to Kylan here. He's been a longtime friend, and he restores instruments, he researches things, he knows. There's not many people, honestly, that we can bounce theories off of in this world of historical instruments, especially with the Hawaiian instruments, because it's not a lot of documentation. And so there's only a small pool of people that are working on diligently on the research of these historical instruments, and then making those things available to the general public. Kylan has done a tremendous service for us all that are interested. So the music that we listen to today has origins. The instruments that we hear today have origins, and that story needs to be told. And so it takes a tremendous amount of time to research and to work those things forward. And so we are also grateful for Kylan and all his tremendous work in those areas as well. For all of you that are here today, for all of you that are viewing online, it took a lot of hands, a lot of time, a lot of preparation. Everyone from the live stream video team to the sound team, certainly to facilities management that's here, allowed us to use the place. Our chancellor, Dr. Pagoda, who also was a huge advocate. She's away traveling right now, but is a huge advocate for what we are doing here. My colleagues at the Paul S. Honda International Center, also very grateful for all of your time and effort to make this thing happen. I know there's going to be many people, in addition to the musicians, the wonderful musicians that we've had today, and a number who couldn't join us as well. We are indeed very grateful for all of your mana'o, all of your support, and we look forward to possibly doing this on a bigger scale as well. One of the projects that Kylan is looking at advancing is concerts basically like this on an even higher level. And so we'll be working alongside him with Ukulele Friend and Kealakai Center for Pacific Strings and others. So once again, much mahalo for your time, much mahalo for all of you viewing online. Aloha United Way, thank you as well, and we wish you all the best today. Mahalo.